Hello folks, I am the Bitter Clinger, and I hope you're having at least as much fun playing World of Tanks as I am. Now I know one thing that definitely makes World of Tanks no fun at all, and that's losing. Now, losing is always disappointing, but it can be fun at the same time. I mean, losing a close battle that's well fought by both sides is a lot more fun than winning a 15-0 raffle stomp. But losing a lot more battles than you're winning can make the game a chore to play. About a year ago, I was ready to rage quit World of Tanks. Well, again. My win rate had plummeted to 47.7%, and there was no sign of that trend reversing itself anytime in the future. Now, it's not that my win rate was ever very high, but it was around 50% before the downward spiral. It's not so much that I care about my win rate number, but losing battle after battle is just not any fun, no matter what game you're playing. Well, I determined that I was going to get better at World of Tanks and start winning more battles than I lose. A big part of helping me do that was installing the Xvm mod. Now, when people hear Xvm, they immediately think of stats, like WN8 rating, or even the chance of victory prediction. But there are a lot more important features in Xvm. Features that make me feel like I'm playing with an arm tied behind my back when I don't have them. Features that have helped me become a better World of Tanks player. So, when a commenter on my channel asked for the best legal mod for World of Tanks, another commenter, Louis the Pit, answered Xvm, and I agree wholeheartedly. One of the reasons I agree with Louis the Pit and millions of other players are the enhancements that Xvm brings to the minimap, starting with the view range guides. People often talk in terms of armor thickness and gun penetration when they talk about World of Tanks, but the most important factors in deciding the outcome of a battle are camouflage and spotting. These days, it's easy to overcome heavy armor or low gun penetration with premium ammunition or gold rounds, which you can buy for credits. But you can't shoot a premium round at what you can't see. So let's take a quick look at the 4 guides on the map and then see an example of how they help me make better decisions in an actual battle. We'll start with the red square box, which indicates the global visibility limit for any tank under any circumstances. No one can see allied or enemy tanks that are outside of this red square, regardless of camouflage, view range, radio range, crew skills, or any other factor. Take a look at this screenshot. My allies on the E line have spotted the enemy T-62A, but I can't see him even though I'm looking right at him. He's outside my maximum limit of visibility. This means my allies are spotting enemy tanks that I can't shoot at from my current position. I have to move up to support my allies, even if that means parking myself in an open field. Let's move on to the yellow circle. This is the global view range limit, and like the red square, it is exactly the same for everyone. Now, the red square and the yellow circle are really just guidelines for you to keep in mind. They don't actually apply to the view range specific to your tank. That's what this blue circle is for. An enemy heavy tank sitting out in the open, blasting away with his gun, would have to be inside this circle for me to see him. This is the view range for my tank, but that alone doesn't help me win battles. I use this blue circle as a frame of reference. If this is how far I can see in my tank destroyer, this is probably the same view range for a lot of tanks. So when I move up to support my allies, I try to keep this blue line between me and the enemy tanks. Look, let's pause right here. I'm parked in an open field and just fired my big gun, and I've got 4 enemy tanks nearby. A T-62A, an Object 704, a T-44, and finally the T-57 Heavy. I've kept them all outside my blue circle, so none of them can see me. This tells me that I could probably even risk moving up a little if the situation called for it. The only problem is the situation does not call for it because we've just lost our last tank in the middle of the map. So it's time to get behind some bushes and use what I now know is superior view range to snipe approaching tanks. Now we can fast forward a few seconds in the battle. Stop, right here. I've spotted the poor T-57 lumbering along in his heavy tank, which has no concealment rating at all. Look, even the bushes he's driving through didn't help him. As soon as he drove into my view range, I spotted him, and I know he can't see me. Thanks to Xvm, I was able to establish that I have the best view range of any tank in this area, and he is right on the edge of my view range. I'm also sitting behind a bush, which is providing some additional concealment for me, and that means he would have to be even closer than he normally would to spot me. Alright, we've all experienced this before, but let's watch it just to drive the point home. Now, we can finish up this Xvm feature with an explanation of this inner circle, which represents the minimum visibility limit in the game. It's the same for everyone. Any tank inside this circle will always be visible to you no matter what. There are no obstacles or circumstances or skills in which a tank could remain hidden from you within this circle. Now, it's not as useful as the blue view range circle, but it is nice to know. Now let's hop away to another battle to introduce two more features of Xvm that will help you win more battles in World of Tanks: the enhanced cap timers and last known position on the minimap. We join this battle in progress. Our team is being hard pressed. The enemy team has a tank in the cap circle, but this is an encounter battle, so capping takes the full 3 minutes rather than the usual 90 seconds. There's over 2 minutes left on the cap timer, so we have plenty of time. I don't have to do any suicide rush in an attempt to reset at this point. I'm in the T-34 heavy tank and closing in on the cap circle, but thanks to Xvm's last known position feature for the minimap, I'm well aware that the area east of the cap circle is infested with sneaky little tank destroyers hiding behind rocks and under bushes. Now, we just saw how well heavy tanks do against tank destroyers, so I'm going to stay behind hard cover and position myself to reset the cap if necessary. Let's pause a second and take a look at what just happened. Xvm is letting me know that there are now 2 enemy tanks in the cap circle, and that cuts down the time remaining from 2 minutes to under 1 minute. Suddenly, one of those sneaky little tank destroyers pops up behind me, but I know there are over 40 seconds left on the cap, so I can take the time to deal with this little ankle biter. Now that I've dispatched the Dicker Max, I can return my attention to the cap circle and deal with the enemy tanks there. This is all made possible by the enhanced cap timer features of Xvm. Would I have known that a second tank moved onto the cap? Would I have any idea how much time I had left without this feature? No, I wouldn't. But this Xvm feature allowed me to remain calm and think clearly in what would otherwise be a stressful situation. So let's return to our original battle for a slightly different look at how these two features can help us improve our gameplay. I'm the only one left on our team at this point, and the enemy team has an artillery that has never been spotted and an Object 704 remaining. How do I know the enemy M40 artillery has never been spotted? There's no last known position marker on the minimap. If he'd been spotted by someone earlier in the battle, I'd be able to see his last position at the time he was spotted, just like I can with the Object 704, way over on the other side of the map. Knowing that the Object 704 is on the other side of the map, I might have time to cap. My problem is that I don't know much about the Object 704. I have no idea how fast that thing can move, and I'd still have to face off with the M40 either way. Luckily, I get some help from a teammate and decide he's probably right. Sitting in the cap circle for another minute is not a good strategy for winning. Now, the battle timer was at 2 minutes 56 seconds when I left the cap circle, and there was 1 minute left on the cap timer. Let's fast forward a little and see if I would have had another minute before the Object 704 returned to defend the cap. Nope. The Object 704 and I spot each other with 2 minutes 9 seconds remaining. That would have been plenty of time for that Object 704 to take a shot at me from close range. And you can bet the enemy artillery is fully aimed on the cap circle. So there was no way I was going to win by capping. Thanks to a little help from a teammate and Xvm keeping me informed on exactly how long I'd have to hang out in the cap circle, I was able to make the right decision in this battle. Now, there are some players who would argue that knowing someone else's stats will help them make decisions in the course of a battle. I admit that I've never found knowing someone's WN8 rating to be all that useful to me. But there are some circumstances when the little color codes come in handy. I see blue people.
They're knocked out.
Xvm is not an I win button. Just having it installed won't improve your win rate, but it is a very useful tool in helping you manage your situational awareness. If you've got a digital calendar of some kind, either on your phone or your computer, it won't go to your dentist appointment for you, sad to say, but it will help you get there on time by popping up a little reminder. That's what Xvm does. It says, hey, you've only got a minute to deal with the enemy in the cap circle. Or it says, hey, that medium tank is coming inside your view range. This allows you to make better decisions, especially at critical points in the battle. And that, my friends, is going to make you a better player. When you start making better decisions, you're going to start winning more battles. So I hope the next time I see you that you'll be having more fun playing World of Tanks, because no matter what anyone else tries to tell you, winning is more fun than losing. This is Bitter Klinger, signing out.